Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today's July 29th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see the marine there pushed in towards Southern California, up and down some of the coastal areas towards the Bay Area, but there is some areas, especially north of the Bay Area, enjoying some nice sunshine this morning. Interior areas generally clear. We're going to take a look at what's coming for the next few days. As you can imagine, we've got a few more days of thunderstorms going on across some of the higher terrain in Northern California through the Sierra Nevada, and some fire danger associated with some of that thunderstorm activity. And we'll take a look at what is coming. As we go through the extended forecast, we'll take a look at the wet bulb globe temperature here as well. And I'll explain a little bit on what that means. So taking a look here at the lightning over the last 24 hours, and you can see that we did have similar areas with some thunderstorm activity, especially towards the California-Oregon border and up in towards the state of Oregon. Taking a look at lightning flash density potential for today. Well, let's scroll through this here on the high resolution rapid refresh. It shows some of this activity across some of the Sierra Nevada east slopes and across portions of northeast California. And you can see that kind of continue on as we go on into tonight and towards Wednesday morning. Some of these could be creeping out in towards the Sacramento Valley as we go through Wednesday morning, and you can kind of see that as they redevelop on the day Wednesday as well. The Siskiyous here towards the Oregon border here and some of the coastal range getting a little bit of that thunderstorm activity. Lake Tahoe under the gun yet again. And then we scroll on in through Wednesday night, but we still have a few more days probably after that as well. Now also I want to point at the vertically integrated smoke, and just kind of a nice picture to look at here because we don't have fires producing too much smoke. I'm just kind of scrolling through the 48-hour time period here 1, 2, 3 times, and you can see we are doing quite nicely here across the state of California. Now, we do have some red flag issues here across portions of Northern California, some fire danger associated with some of this thunderstorm activity, but right now, again, pretty good deal here across the state, not producing too much in the way of smoke. This is Medford, Oregon. It does include portions of California. You can see we got fire weather watch for some locations and red flag warnings the further in towards the interior that you go. And this is Eureka, kind of pointing at that. You can see Weaverville is included in that, Eureka also, and as you get on towards northeast California, you got the red flag warnings going on. So we got the day 1 thunderstorm outlook here, no surprise there, and day 2 kind of creeping out into the foothills of the Sacramento Valley as we go on in through late tonight and on in through Wednesday morning. So isolated dry thunderstorm potential here turns into some of the scatter potential, just clipping northeast California, but that's not a good look here for some fire starts. Hopefully this is not kicking anything off across Northern California. Sometimes it can take a few days for those fires to flare up and become apparent. Now, if we take a look at the European model, we scroll through this afternoon, you can see again thunderstorm development, pretty typical areas here that we've been dealing for the last few days. We go through the day Wednesday, a little bit better coverage. Thursday, again, Northern California. We go to Friday afternoon, again, Northern California, rinse and repeat all the way in towards Saturday, where things starting to lighten up a little bit here. And then we go towards Sunday, maybe a few showers there as well. Now, if we take a look at total precipitation in inches, so what you'll notice is the monsoon is out there, but it's mainly across New Mexico, clipping portions of southeast Arizona. And then we scroll on into the next few days, you can see the additional thunderstorms here across portions of the Sierra Nevada. We look down towards Arizona, and it does show a little bit of that thunderstorm activity making its way towards the Mogollon Rim, I believe here. There it goes on Friday. So yeah, not a great monsoon season so far, but yeah, there's a little bit of activity ongoing here. I'll show the extended forecast on that here in a moment. So taking a look at the daily 2-meter max temperatures there, you can see some portions of the northern Sacramento Valley warming up. Sacramento, maybe some mid-90s out there. San Joaquin Valley. Get away from the coastal areas of Southern California, you start to warm up, especially once you get east of the mountain range. The desert areas ramping up the heat a little bit there as well. We'll go through tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, kind of keeping things as they are. No big heat wave in our extended forecast or even over the next few days, and no major cool down here as well, although some places are still dealing with some chillier than normal temperatures. Now, this is what I talked about, wet bulb globe temperature. So Los Angeles, notice that there's a wet bulb globe temperature region. You are in region 1. So nice comfortable temperatures out there. Los Angeles International Airport. This location is closer to the ocean there, but you can see just going into elevated a little bit there at times. But if we go to Redding here, you can see the wet bulb globe temperature region is 3. Of course, you deal with some warmer conditions there at Redding Municipal Airport versus LAX. So that's why you are in region 3. And I'm going to explain what this means here in a moment. But you can see into moderate territory there. If you look at Palm Springs, you're up into some of the high territory in the wet wet bulb globe region is 2, and that's because it's usually generally a drier area. But yeah, interesting to see that. We look at San Diego, into elevated at times, but still generally pretty comfortable temperatures, as you can see. And McCarran International Airport, Las Vegas, you can see it goes into elevated at times as well. Wet bulb globe temperature region is 3. So what is it and how to use it? Well, you can pause this if you want to really read about the details, but it's an experimental forecast tool indicating heat stress on the human body when in direct sunlight. It estimates the effect of temperature, relative humidity, wind speed, and solar radiation on human beings using a combination of temperatures from 3 thermometers: wet bulb, black globe, and dry bulb thermometer. So yeah, it's good for, seeing what kind of activities could potentially be dangerous if you're in construction or doing sports or any kind of strenuous activity outside. Now, I've been showing this here for the last few days, temperature departure from average. This is basically so far meteorological summer, and you can see the coastal areas cooler than normal, some of Northern California and interior areas, some of the desert areas above normal here over the last couple of months. Total precipitation has not been kind to some areas. The dark red here is below, or 1/100th of an inch or below, so not a good look there. Some select locations have gotten bigger amounts, however. Now, if we take a look at the extended forecast, this is European ensemble mean. This is the gold standard here at 18,000 feet, 500 millibars. Gives us an idea of overall trough and ridge position. So if we scroll off into the extended forecast, we're kind of looking for patterns here. You can see the ridge try to get reestablished, but still some troughing hanging on all the way on in through the upcoming weekend and towards the early portion of next week. We're dealing with that troughing. Ridging starts to get reestablished here a bit across Pacific Ocean and some of the Southwest. Are we going to start to warm things up here as we go through the first half of August? It's starting to look like that a little bit here. I'll show you some of those temperatures here in a moment. Nothing too excessively hot, but we got to watch that, because these ridges start to build. We can really warm things up in a hurry across much of the state. Now, if we take a look at the artificial intelligence 2-meter temperature anomaly, you can kind of see this mostly below normal here across much of the state of California. We scroll through the next few days. Again, kind of a mixed bag out there, back and forth. You can see some of the cooler temperatures still hanging around some of the area, with the troughing still around below normal temperatures here across some of Southern California as we go through the first week of August. We scroll on into the future there, and we start to warm things up a bit as we start to go through the first half of August, but you can still see below normal temperatures for the coastal areas and a bit warmer than normal right as you get away from some of the coastal areas as you go through the first portion of August. And here's the 6 to 10 day forecast: below normal, above normal here for some portions of Arizona and New Mexico. We go to the 6 to 10 day precipitation. Not a good look there for the monsoon season signal so far. And there's the 8 to 14 days. Start to warm things up a little bit. Climate Prediction Center is catching on to that. And there's the 8 to 14 days. Still not showing much in the way of monsoon moisture. Definitely not above average anyway. And my daughter has a robotics team. They're trying to find a new place to live. Anything you can give would be beneficial. She gets very excited when anybody donates. You can throw $1 or whatever you can afford your way if you are so inclined. And you can see they made the news up here in Western Washington. Fun stuff. Keeps the kids busy. They're looking for a new place to call home, basically, and they need some help with that. So anyway, yeah, what else? We will continue to break things down. We'll continue to watch off through the extended forecast. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, click like and subscribe, and we will do this all again tomorrow.